Have you ever felt the need to change yourself in a relationship just to gain attention or make your partner happy? Perhaps you felt compelled to meet their expectations, even at the cost of your personal values, just to be accepted. However, this habit can damage not only the relationship you're trying to build, but more importantly, your sense of self. When we change who we are simply to please others, we don't just lose our integrity. We lose the true happiness that comes from within. Stoic philosophy teaches us to live with self-control, to manage our emotions, and to focus on what lies within our control. According to Stoicism, we cannot control how others view us, but we can control how we see ourselves and how we act. That's why, rather than changing your life just to please others, it's far better to stay true to your principles and your purpose. Constantly adjusting yourself to fit others' expectations can leave you living in someone else's shadow, not as your true self. This relates closely to the psychological concept of people-pleasing, where individuals go to great lengths to make others happy in search of validation. Over time, this behavior can be harmful to both your mental health and your relationships, leaving you feeling empty and dissatisfied because you've lost your identity. In this guide, we'll explore 9 behaviors that men should avoid in relationships. These patterns, if left unchecked, can lead to unhappiness and a loss of self. By embracing Stoic principles and understanding key psychological insights, you can build healthier, more authentic, and more meaningful relationships. Number 1. Don't change yourself just to please others. Have you ever felt the need to change who you are just to make someone, especially a woman you love, happy? Maybe you thought that acting in line with her expectations would make her love you more or respect you more. However, this often stems from insecurity and a need for external validation. Social psychology shows that the desire to be accepted, especially in romantic relationships, can lead to harmful self-sacrifice. When we mold ourselves to fit someone else's vision, we often lose touch with our true identity, leading to dissatisfaction and confusion. Self-concept theory tells us that our identity is shaped by our personal experiences and how we see ourselves, not how others perceive us. On the other hand, someone who knows who they are and stands firm in their values is more likely to form a healthy, respectful relationship because they are not pretending. Think about it. True connection is built on acceptance. If your partner cannot accept you as you are, the relationship may not be fulfilling. Pretending to be someone you're not only creates emotional distance that will ultimately weaken the relationship. Stoicism teaches us the importance of self-acceptance and living authentically. By embracing who you are and staying true to your values, you create space for more genuine and loving connection. Don't fall into the trap of becoming someone else just to make others happy. Be yourself. Stay true to your values. Letting go of others' expectations is vital to preserving both your integrity and the relationships you build. Number 2, don't become obsessed with someone. We've all experienced the joy of falling in love. It's natural. But problems arise when we become so obsessed with someone that we begin neglecting other important parts of our life. In psychology, there's a condition called obsessive love disorder, OLD, where a person becomes excessively obsessed with their partner to the point where they can't think clearly. This doesn't just damage the relationship. It can derail your emotional and mental balance. Even in healthy relationships, if you focus too much on one person, you may lose your own identity and purpose. This is dangerous because you unconsciously give too much of yourself until you feel trapped in an unhealthy dynamic. According to Stoicism, we should never place our happiness in the hands of another person. The Stoic philosophers taught, don't let hopes and fears about others control your life. This reminds us that true happiness comes from within. When you become obsessed with someone, you lose your capacity to grow as an individual. Your focus shifts entirely to them, instead of on your personal growth and goals. Love is a beautiful thing, but don't let it destroy your sense of identity or life direction. Don't allow obsession to replace balance. Stay grounded in yourself. Number 3, don't let anything destroy your mental health or happiness. Sometimes in relationships, we prioritize another person's happiness over our own. You may feel that in order to maintain peace, you must sacrifice a lot, including your mental well-being. But allowing yourself to stay in a damaging situation can have deep and lasting effects. Psychological research shows that ongoing stress, emotional conflict, or unhappiness in relationships can significantly impact mental health, leading to anxiety, depression, or sleep issues. This results from emotional imbalance when we continuously prioritize someone else's happiness above our own. Over time, it leads to emotional exhaustion and a sense of being lost. Stoicism teaches us not to let external events disturb our inner peace. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you'll find strength." In other words, we control how we respond to situations and how we process our emotions. If you're constantly unhappy or stressed in a relationship, it may be time to set boundaries and put your well-being first. Do not let anyone or any relationship make you feel worthless or emotionally trapped. Mental health is a treasure. Protect it. If something is threatening your well-being, give yourself permission to step back. Number 4, don't neglect the people who have always been there for you. Often when we fall in love, we begin to prioritize our partner above everything else. We spend more time with them, reduce interactions with friends or family, and unintentionally pull away from our support system. In psychology, this is called the isolation effect. When someone becomes isolated from their social circle due to a relationship, leading to emotional instability. Romantic relationships are meaningful, but they should not come to cost of other important connections. Relationship studies highlight that social support is one of the most powerful factors that enhance life satisfaction and personal identity. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of balance and wholeness in life. A healthy life includes meaningful connections with those who support us. When you distance yourself from your support system or focus only on your partner, you lose the perspective and stability that community offers. Don't let a relationship isolate you from those who have been a consistent part of your life. Relying too heavily on one person can make you lose your freedom and your sense of self. Maintain those valuable connections. They are essential to who you are. Number 5, don't invest all your time in one person. We often fall into the trap of thinking we must be available for our partner at all times. However, what usually happens is that we start neglecting other responsibilities, work, hobbies, or even personal growth. In psychology, there's a time investment theory, which explains how the more time we invest in someone, the stronger our emotional attachment becomes. But over-investing time in a single person can cause you to lose your own identity. As the Stoics said, time is the one thing we cannot buy back. Use it wisely. Time is a finite resource, and how we spend it shapes the quality of our life. Overcommitting to one person can result in emotional dependency and a loss of personal direction. Healthy relationships require mutual respect for each other's time and space for individual growth. If you're always giving all your time to someone else, you risk creating an unhealthy attachment and a lack of self-nourishment. Respect your time, use it wisely, and ensure you reserve some of it for yourself. Number 6, don't overshare your past. In relationships, We often feel the urge to fully open up to our partner, including sharing every detail about our past, both joyful and painful. While openness is important, oversharing can be risky. In psychology, this is called overdisclosure, sharing too much personal information that can overwhelm either you or your partner. Revealing past traumas may create temporary closeness, but can also burden the relationship with emotional weight. Not everyone has the capacity to handle difficult stories from your past. It's essential to process and heal your past first before sharing it fully. Stoicism teaches us to focus on the present and the future, not to dwell in the shadows of the past. As Marcus Aurelius put it, look to the past and future only as tools to improve the present. Your past should inform you, not define you. Not everything needs to be shared. Wisdom lies in knowing what and when to share. Protect your privacy. Share only when it feels right and when it adds value to your relationship, not just emotional burden. Number 7, don't agree just to keep them happy. Sometimes in relationships, we feel pressure to agree with our partner, even when we don't truly believe what we're saying. We may think that by agreeing, we can keep them happy or avoid conflict. But in psychology, this is a form of people-pleasing behavior, striving to make others happy while ignoring our own needs or views. This behavior creates an imbalance of power in the relationship. When one person always gives in, it erodes their self-confidence and personal identity. It can also lead to frustration and resentment because you're constantly silencing your own voice. Stoicism teaches us to live with integrity and stay true to our values, regardless of outside pressure. As Epictetus said, don't let what you hear from others change your judgment. This doesn't mean you must always oppose, but you must have the courage to speak your truth. Honesty and integrity are essential foundations for a strong relationship. Number 8, don't be afraid of spending time alone. Many men fall into the belief that they must always be with their partner, or that they can't be happy unless someone else is present. This fear of being alone is known in psychology as monophobia or autophobia, but solitude is not a weakness. In fact, solitude is a strength. It gives us space to reflect, grow, and develop as individuals. Time alone allows for personal clarity and emotional independence. The fear of solitude often means a fear of facing oneself. But when you're comfortable alone, you no longer depend on others for happiness or validation. Instead, you become more confident and grounded, able to contribute more fully to your relationship. Number 9, don't forget to celebrate the small wins in life. We often get so focused on our big goals that we overlook the smaller achievements we've already accomplished. We may think celebrating small things is unimportant, but in psychology, the concept of celebration of progress shows that recognizing small victories boosts confidence and life satisfaction. Stoicism encourages us to appreciate every step we take, no matter how small. As Marcus Aurelius said, don't let small things ruin your peace. Celebrating small wins helps us stay grateful and motivated. It also reminds us to enjoy the journey, not just the destination. Appreciating small achievements gives us a chance to pause, reflect, and feel thankful. In doing so, we create space for fulfillment rather than constantly chasing more. Conclusion: living a balanced and meaningful life in both relationships and personal achievements is essential. Stoicism teaches us to remain calm, resist emotional extremes, and focus only on what is within our control. Every small step towards self-awareness, discipline, and wisdom is a victory worth celebrating. Avoid falling into harmful mindsets, such as becoming overly dependent on others or neglecting your mental well-being. Stay loyal to your core values. And remember that true happiness comes from within. Most importantly, celebrate the small wins. They are milestones on your journey to a richer, more purposeful life. By applying Stoic principles to everyday living, you can achieve inner peace and a more meaningful existence. Be yourself, honor yourself, and never stop learning from the wisdom life has to offer.